Maxim, let's call him Maxim, worked at 55 Savushkina Street for over a year. In the foreign department, his job was to post comments on American media sites, including the New York Times and Washington Post. On condition of anonymity, he told us about his work at the so-called Troll Factory. Maxim started working at the Troll Factory when people weren't even talking about Trump yet, but when Hilary Clinton and the Republican Party were being given a lot of media attention. Maxim quit the job in early 2015. There are 2 stamps from 2 different companies in Maxim's employment book, covering the time he worked at 55 Savushkina Street, Internet Research Agency and Internet Research Ltd. For Maxim, it all began with an interview.
The interview.
When I was applying for the job, the selection process seemed really tough, and I felt like I was really lucky to have somehow managed to get my foot in the door. During the interview, I was asked about Dozd and Alexei Navalny. I said that I read news about Putin and liked the work of Solovyov. I told him that I never went to protests or donated money to Navalny.
The foreign department.
When I was starting out, the quality of what we posted was more important than the quantity of posts published. The foreign department always seemed to think that it was superior to other departments, which wrote in Russian in the Troll Factory. They're all just bots and trolls, but we're the ones forming the international agenda and making a real difference. The main aim of our work was to influence opinions and to provoke lively discussions. You can't just make the argument that Obama is an обезьяна, meaning monkey in Russian, and Putin is a great guy. You'd get fined for posting something like that. In the foreign department, reactions to posts were measured. They would mainly find out how many likes a post got and whether a comment got discussion going. There was a clear strategy document, and everyone had to know about the main problems in the US. Taxes, gays, and gun laws, for example.
What can the trolls do?
We were given a list of media organizations that we had to monitor and sites that we should post comments on. Sites like the New York Times and Washington Post contain tens of thousands of comments. We had to go over all these posts in these outlets, get to grips with the main story trends, and then understand what people write comments about and what divides opinion. After that, we had to get involved and fan the flames of the argument. The most popular topics in the US media were gun laws and gay rights. If a discussion was about gay rights, it was our job to bring in the religious point of view. Americans are often very religious. We had to write comments about how sodomy is a sin. Doing that would always bring you a couple of dozen likes. We were forbidden from making any mention of Russia or Putin in our comments, mainly because Americans tended not to talk about Russia so much. In fact, Americans care relatively little about Russia and Putin. Our goal wasn't to turn Americans into avid Russia supporters. Our goal was to turn Americans against their own government.
What can't the trolls do?
If we were working on foreign media, we always had to work with VPN. If you were caught using a Russian IP address, it was a big problem. One person got in a lot of trouble for taking pictures inside the Troll Factory. This was because the metadata of the photos could be used to track down the location of the office. Apparently, the social network activity of every employee was closely monitored.
American politics.
Everything about Hilary Clinton had to be negative, and you really had to tear into her. It was all about the leaked emails, the corruption scandals, and the fact that she is super rich. The main message was, hey, fellow Americans, aren't you tired of the Clintons? Haven't we had enough of them already?
House of Cards.
We were made to watch the TV series House of Cards in English. We had classes where we analyzed each other's comments, looked for mistakes. To be honest, we were basically teaching each other.
Troll Academy.
Over time, the work we were expected to do became more and more complicated. We studied the US tax system in detail, for example. Then things became more and more strategically focused. We attended classes put on by the analytics department. People from analytics monitored articles of the media outlets we were assigned to and sent us spreadsheets with articles, text summaries, and topics that we should mention to get the discussion to blow up. People from the analytics department say things under their breath like, I've just come back from the US and I was speaking to some, excuse me, niggas there. They are also fucking arrogant and full of themselves. It's bullshit. There were rumors about there being secret departments in the Troll Factory that were really difficult to get into. People said that these departments sent people over to the US for special assignments.
How much do trolls get paid?
I was always really conflicted about working at the Troll Factory. I just did what I was told and followed the rules without putting any extra effort in at all. We worked 12-hour shifts, 2 days on, 2 days off, and we got paid 50,000 rubles a month. Things just got worse and worse. More fines, more demands. It was ludicrous. Unlike when I started out, it became all about the quantity of posts, not their quality. One day, top management renewed and everyone who I'd ever worked with was fired, just like that.
Leaks and consequences.
Once, a man gave an interview and leaked pictures from inside the building. Our managers found the culprit by watching the CCTV and seeing who was walking around using their phone. It didn't take them long. I'm not sure whether it's true, but there were rumors that they beat up some people pretty bad because of the leak. Culprits were kept in the basement and interrogated. What were you doing? How? Who were you talking to? They were in serious trouble for that. I don't know what happened to them in the end, to be honest. We were all really afraid. Our managers said to us, you better pray that you don't end up in their shoes.
The sweep.
Something strange happened at the beginning of 2015. People were burning documents in front of the building for several days. We could smell it in the office. And then we were told to delete everything on our computers. It was some sort of sweep or reshuffle, I guess. And then it got even worse.
Information warfare.
Just after the leak happened, our managers started having serious conversations with us. They told us that we shouldn't be ashamed of what we were doing. They said we should be proud because every country has its own organization that defends its national interests and provokes certain conflicts. I think it's blindingly obvious that we are fighting an information war, and it's all being done officially. Everybody knew that we were manipulating information to hurt our enemies.